Hey there, and welcome. So, how often do you actually stop and think about the words you use to describe your daily routine? Words like always, sometimes, never. Well, these are called adverbs of frequency. And today we're going to break down exactly how they give a kind of rhythm to our language.
So let's just jump right in with a question for you. How often do you check your phone? Come on, be honest. Is it hourly? Daily? Maybe every few minutes? Whatever word just popped into your head, that's exactly what we're talking about today. These little words are absolutely fundamental to how we talk about our habits and routines.
So, let's get a super clear definition on the table. An adverb of frequency is really just a word that tells us how often something happens. It answers one simple question. How often? That's it. Whether you're brushing your teeth or binge watching your favorite show, these words help paint the picture of our lives.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, then we'll visualize these words on a spectrum, from always to never. After that, we're diving into the 3 crucial placement rules, then we'll look at some special cases and wrap it all up with a final takeaway. Ready? Let's do it.
First up, let's zoom in on the basics. Before we get into all the rules and stuff, it's so important to really get that core question that all of these adverbs are trying to answer. How often?
Now for a really useful way to think about these words. Instead of just memorizing a long random list, let's picture them as points on a scale. We'll call it the frequency spectrum, and it runs all the way from 100% all the time down to 0. Okay, check this out. This spectrum lays it all out perfectly. Right at the top, 100% frequency, we've got always. I always brush my teeth. Happens every single time. Now, drop down just a little to about 90%, and you've got usually. I usually have cereal. So it happens most of the time, but not every time. Then we have often, and smack dab in the middle at 50% is sometimes. It's that perfect 50-50 point. As we keep going down the scale, you'll find rarely, and finally, all the way at the bottom, a big ol' 0% is never. I never smoke. It just doesn't happen. Simple as that.
Okay, so now we know the words. But the real question is, where the heck do they go in a sentence? This is where people can get a little tripped up. But don't worry, there are 3 main rules for placing these adverbs that will cover you in almost every situation you can think of.
And here they are in a nutshell. 1. Before the main verb. 2. After that special verb to be. And 3. Between a helping verb and the main verb. Let's break down each one.
Let's kick things off with rule number 1, because it's the most common one you'll use. For almost all main verbs, like eat, work, or play, the adverb of frequency comes directly before it. It just slides right in between the subject and the verb.
And this right here makes the rule crystal clear. Saying Harry drives always just sounds wrong, right? The correct structure is always subject, then adverb, then verb. Harry always drives. See? The adverb sets up the action that comes right after it.
Now, what's a rule without an exception? And this one's a biggie. The verb to be is special. Since it's describing a state of being, not really an action, it completely flips our first rule on its head. With verbs like am, is, are, was, or were, The adverb of frequency actually comes after the verb. This side-by-side comparison makes it so obvious. With a main verb like go, the adverb often comes before it. But with the verb to be, in this case am, the adverb often pops in right after. I am often tired. If you can remember just one exception, make it this one. All right, on to our third rule, which is all about those more complex sentences. When you've got a helping verb, sometimes called an auxiliary verb, like have, will, or can, our adverb gets kind of sandwiched right between that helping verb and the main verb. And this illustrates the rule perfectly. Look at that first sentence. The adverb never is tucked right between have and been. And the second one, which is a negative sentence, often sits between doesn't and eat. And get this, it even works for questions. The adverb always comes right after the subject you and before the main verb work. Awesome, we've got the 3 main rules down. Now let's have some fun and dive into some of the nuances and special cases. Honestly, mastering these is what will make your English sound really fluent and natural. This is a fantastic little phrase to keep in your back pocket, because some adverbs are just way more flexible than others, and sometimes is the #1 example. It kind of likes to break the rules. Yep, unlike most adverbs of frequency, sometimes can just move around the sentence, no problem. You can stick it at the beginning for emphasis. Sometimes, I eat salad. You can put it in the middle, just like Rule 1. I sometimes eat salad. Or, and this is super common when we're talking, you can tack it on to the end. I eat salad sometimes. Just so you know, other words like usually and occasionally can do this too, but sometimes is definitely our most common flexible friend. Here's another really important distinction to make. We have what are called indefinite adverbs, like often or rarely, which give a general idea of frequency. They're the ones that follow the placement rules we just talked about. But then we have definite adverbs, which specify an exact time period, like daily, weekly, or annually. These guys almost always go at the very end of the sentence. For example, you'd say, the contract is renewed annually, not the contract annually is renewed. Okay, one last specific rule for you. And trust me, it's a big one, because it's a super common mistake. The phrase have to acts like one single unit, and the adverb of frequency always goes right before it. This slide just nails it. It feels so tempting to try and split up have and to, but you just can't. The correct way is, I always have to phone him. Just think of have to as a single block, and the adverb comes just before that block. All right, I know that was a lot of information, so let's boil it all down into one final quick reference guide. These are the absolute key points to lock in. Okay, here it is. 4 key rules. #1, before most verbs, I often read. Got it? #2, after the verb to be. She is rarely late. Easy enough. #3, after that first helping verb. He has never seen it. And finally, #4, right before have to. We always have to wait. Seriously, if you can just lock in these 4 patterns, you're going to be correct 99% of the time. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is something you rarely do, but really wish you did more often? It's a great way to put what you've just learned into practice and start thinking about the frequency of things in your own life. Thanks so much for tuning in.